Hey, what is up, Helldivers? Enforcer 5150 here, and we have a new patch, patch 01000.300. But yeah, we have a few things to talk about in this one that is probably going to upset plenty of people, including myself, because it's something that I will be affected quite seriously by. But anyway, a patch dispatch from High Command is not that great, but it's called balancing changes. We'll see what we think about that. Anyway, overview. For this patch, we have made improvements and changes to the following areas: balance changes to weapons, stratagems, and enemies, change to the spread of democracy mission. All right. Anyway, balancing. General armors with armor rating above 100 now reduce damage on headshots, which that's a good thing right there. I mean, they should really put it into the actual helmets at this point, because right now our helmets don't have any additional stats or anything like that. I think adding stats and armor to the helmet would be a better way to go about this, instead of being like, okay, well, your regular armor also affects your helmet. But that's neither here or there. Moving on to the next part, victory poses will now only play for the extracted. No stolen valor on my ship. And that does make sense. I always wondered why you're doing the victory pose when you're standing off to the side if you didn't extract. I don't know. I don't even know why. Like, even if you sometimes if you don't extract at all, you still get the fireworks. And I always wonder, like, why are they getting a celebration? I mean, yes, you have the completed mission, but they died. Anyway, burning damage reduced by 15%. I mean, come on. They already have that way super high. They increased it by 50% twice. So technically they increased it by 100% since most burning damages come out. I'm mainly for the flamethrower I'm talking about, but then they also increased it by 50% of all fire damage, included by enemies and everything, which that also made it just basically a 2-second burn. You're dead, no matter what armor you're wearing or anything else. Anyway, moving on. The primary and secondary support weapons. All right, the CB9 exploding crossbow. I don't use that one yet, but slightly smaller explosion, increased stagger. We have a decreased number of maximum magazines from 12 to 8. We have an increased number of magazines received from resupply from 6 to 8. Then we also have slight reduction in ergonomics, whatever that's supposed to mean, and then muzzle velocity increased. So I don't know muzzle velocity. There's no muzzle on the exploding crossbow, so whatever. But I think that the exploding crossbow was actually doing pretty well, because I picked it up from other people before and tried it out because I was curious. I just haven't unlocked it for myself, and I thought it wasn't overpowered or underpowered. I think it could have stayed where it was. It's just my own personal opinion. But the next part here is the part that I want to complain about, which I'm pretty sure many others will as well. The LAS 99 QUASAR cannon increased recharge time by 5 seconds. That is a ton of time to increase that recharge. That is going to make the QUASAR cannon now something that you just really can't use. It doesn't make sense to increase that recharge time by that much. Maybe a second. Anyway, I really think that cannon really needed to stay where it was, because increase by 5 seconds is just way too much, and people are not going to use it anymore. I'm going to look for something else to use. I may go back to running with the auto cannon, or the EAT 17 might just have to be my next go-to, even though you hit it out, you burn it, it's gone, but you can call it back down multiple times. Anyway, the BR-14 adjudicator full auto is now the default fire mode. Reduced recoil. Then we have increased maximum mags from 6 to 8. increased the number of magazines received from supply from 6 to 8, and now placed among assault rifles. Now, I haven't used the adjudicator much. I used it from other people once again because I have not unlocked it myself. I didn't think it was that good, so these buffs definitely help it out a little bit and make it a little bit more to go to, but I don't think it's enough. It's basically the one rifle that nobody wants, and I don't see myself using it even with these buffs. Mainly the increasing the mags is a good thing, and then receiving, obviously receiving more magazines when you get it from resupply. But I don't think that was the main issue. I think the damage itself is an issue, and we'll have to see how it is when I actually get it, and if I pick it up from someone else, if someone else starts using it. We'll see. Anyway, we have some more info on the LAS 98, which is the laser cannon, basically the one that's just a straight laser. Slightly increased damage, slightly reduced damage versus large volume bodies. So like the larger enemies, it does less damage, but it has increased the damage. So whatever that's supposed to mean, I hope it should have got a better increase. No one's been really running with it that much. It is decent with bugs, but it is like very much not a go-to when it comes to bots, automatons. All right, well, moving on here, we're going on to the SG-8P Punisher Plasma, another decent, pretty much a decent weapon, which is getting another nerf. Decreased magazines from 12 to 8, increased the amount of magazine received from supply from 6 to 8. So before you had 12 magazines, but you only could refill by 6. So basically they're making it so that you can get a full refill on your resupply. Increased projectile speed, but will still keep similar range. Decreased damage fall off on the explosion, now placed in energy weapons category. It kind of received a buff, but also didn't. Decreasing the magazines is definitely going to make it one that you might not want to actually go with. Now, I'm going to have to look for another weapon myself. I don't know. The Sickle is still kind of my favorite go-to, so I may just keep going with that for now. Granted, there's not another, issue with it. Oh, dang, there is. Damn it. Anyway, Arc 12 Blitzer increased the shot per minute from 30 to 45, now placed in the energy weapons category, which where it needed to be anyway. Same with the plasma, those should be in energy. So that one is kind of a buff to it. I did use the Blitzer quite often because a lot of people, when they die, I go ahead and grab it and use it myself. And it's actually not a bad weapon. Anyway, the R36 Eruptor decreased number of magazines from 12 to 6. Explosion damage drops off slightly faster. Now, the whole thing was to have this great explosive update, and it seems like they're trying to take away like the main part of that, like bringing down the explosion stuff for it all. Like we have with the plasma, it'll keep a smaller range, and yeah. So it just seems like they're trying to decrease the efficiency of that update that they did. Anyway, here we go with the Sickle, which I just talked about, the LAS 16, decreased amount of magazines from 6 to 3. Ouch! Damn! Okay, so I definitely need to get myself a different weapon because 6 to 3, that thing is no longer going to be that good. Now, remember, with the Sickle, though, you don't really have to use all of them. As long as you stop using the weapon before it runs out, you're good to go. It's pretty much unlimited. But when you're in heavy fights, you pretty much use that thing, you're not paying attention to it, and you will run out, and you'll have to constantly change ice, and dropping it down to 3, that is not going to make that a very good weapon in high-end combat situations. All right, now with the LS5, it has increased damage from 300 to 350, increased maximum number of magazines from 6 down to 4, another huge nerf nerf. It increased the damage, which is good, but decreasing the magazines is a big deal with a lot of even with the energy-based weapons, because you are going to burn them out. When, like I said, when you're in a when you're just confronted with a bunch of bots, a bunch of bugs, you're going to have to change that ice quite often, and that's usually what makes that weapon still worth going with. So that is pretty bad. But moving on to the RS-422 railgun, we have increased armor penetration in both safe mode and unsafe mode, so that's good. I haven't used the railgun in a while, but the stagger force slightly is reduced, which the stagger was actually good. It just no longer works on like the Bile Titans, so it really doesn't matter that much. When it's these the Chargers, you can still stagger them a bit. Anyway, moving on to the MG-101 heavy machine gun, third person crosshair has been enabled. Nice. On the 63 CS Diligence counter sniper, increased damage from 128 to 140, and ergonomics improved. Still don't understand what that's supposed to mean, but that one is a pretty big buff for it. That sniper was actually pretty good every time I've used it, so that is nice that we got a decent buff there. All right, moving on to the Redeemer, we have a slight increase in recoil, so very minor thing here. The P2 Peacemaker increased damage from 60 to 75. That is a decent buff for the Peacemaker. The P8 Senator increased damage from 150 to 175. We also have Speed Loader added when reloading an empty cylinder. Cylinder speeds up reload on empty considerably. What? Okay, well, read that yourself, because that doesn't make freaking sense. They improved the reloads. Anyway, moving on to the LAS-7 Dagger, increased damage from 150 to 200. Okay, well, that's, wait a minute, that's not the right one. Okay, that's for the Dagger. That's not bad. We also have an increase in damage on the AR-19 Liberator from 55 to 60. And that is one of the weapons that I do like using once in a while, whenever it's a really hot planet and I remember to actually change my weapon. So I might have to go back to checking that out a little bit. The Liberator Concussive I don't really use, but it does increase the damage to 65 from 55. And then the Jar 5 Dominator decreased damage from 300 to 275. That one was a decent weapon, and now decreasing it any amount is probably going to make it a no longer go-to. Okay, the Guard Dog has decreased damage by 30%. Oof. Well, I don't really use the Guard Dog much anymore, but the only good thing about reducing the damage is that it can't kill yourself with it as fast. Because yeah, that thing, the Guard Dog is just, it'll kill your whole team. That thing is out to get you. That's my opinion of it. Anyway, the RL-77 Airburst Rocket Launcher. Ha! Okay, let's see here. The Airburst Rocket Launcher will no longer detonate when shot near stratagems, HMG turret, sentries, resupplies, and other Helldivers. Yeah, that thing was going off all the frickin' time. I definitely killed my whole team with this thing because it was either near a stratagem, it was near a sentry. That thing just went off no matter what, and I was like, nope, done with this thing, done using it. It's a cool idea, I'm done. So hopefully this will make it better. I will try it out, but I still do not trust it, and it may just be another automaton plot. Another thing that when they had them over there and those plans were in the automaton's hands, they changed it up to make sure that that stuff will sit there, misfire, and kill our teams. That's my opinion. What about yours? Anyway, it also reduced the proximity radius. Anyway, moving on here, we have stratagems that have some changes. The AMG-43 machine gun sentry increased health to match other sentries. We also have the Arc 3 Tesla Tower increased health by 33%. We also have the FAF-14 Sphere added reload stage, reload after the spent missile had been discarded. Now we also have the RL-77. Wait, what? Okay, well, this is a few differences on that stratagem. So we already had an update to the airburst rocket launcher, but we have a list of things here. So it doesn't say what, if it's like increase or anything or what kind of changes, but it just has it in its actual list. But bio spewer and nursing spewers move speed slightly reduced. So what the heck? It just says list. I don't know why it has list. This is not a list that... Okay, whatever. Let's just go on to enemies. For some reason, there's a list here. Hulks. Force required for them to stagger slightly increased. So I'm just wondering what the heck this is all supposed to be. But anyway, Hulk sculpture. Direct flamethrower damage reduced by 20%. Devastator. Fire rate slightly increased. Only the standard Devastator. Gunships, sideways movement slightly increased. Scout Strider riders now less vulnerable to explosives. We also have fog generators, health and armor increased, and the gunship spawners now have much lower cap on how many gunships they can have active at one time. Enemy patrol changes is patrol spawning has increased when there are fewer than 4 players. The fewer the players, the bigger the chance. The 4-player missions, they're all 4-player missions, will the 4-player missions there will be no change compared to before. The biggest noticeable change will be for solo players at higher difficulties. So they just changed the patrols for how many players you actually have on there. So if you're in there by yourself, they're going to change it. Because I know a lot of people complain that, oh, I can't solo this anymore because it's too difficult, because they keep increasing the difficulty. Well, I guess they are pandering to those people that want to solo. Personally, I think if you're going to solo, you should solo at the same difficulty that you have with 4 players. That's what makes it more of a challenge and more of, because like a lot of people put out videos for, oh, I soloed level 9. Well, if everything is reduced and not as hard as it was in, the 4-player one, what's the point? Then it's just solo. Okay, whatever. It's already catered to you being in there solo. You're going to have fewer, patrols and everything else. But I don't know. It says now that there's no change compared to before, but the biggest noticeable change will be for solo players at higher difficulties. So if you have, I don't know why it says patrol spawning has been increased when there are fewer than 4 players. So, and if I'm reading this right, that means that they're going to increase it. So the fewer the players, the bigger the change. So I think that is going to make a lot of people upset. I think there should be exactly how, like I was saying, it should be the same if you have 4 players or if you have 1 player. It should be exactly the same type of mission, so that, when somebody goes in and be like, hey, I sold this as, a solo by myself on level 9, it's the same as it's going to be. But this, it sounds like it's going to be a ton more. But whatever, we'll see. Anyway, we have a bunch of gameplay changes here. Man, there is a lot today. This is a really big one, so bear with me. Anyway, made minor level generation improvements to how we distribute locations throughout the mission map, and it says this should improve variation in distance between objectives and objectives that will likely not spawn as far away from each other as often as before. Also has added sitting in the options menu gameplay section to disable automatic climbing and bolting while sprinting. That is a big one. I freaking hate trying to get a refill, resupply, and you just end up going up on top of it. You know, it's the same with everything there. Super annoying. The Spread of Democracy mission, otherwise known as Raise the Plague, can now be enjoyed on higher difficulties for maximum freedom spreading. That I was hoping they would bring back, because the only time you get that is in the training, and then if you go on the absolute easiest level, you have that. The thing that sucks about it is that you have to sit there and wait for the flag to raise. But it's nice that we have something extra there to put in on some of these missions. Anyway, when readying up, Helldivers now salute to ensure maximum democratic readiness. Added ambience to the tremor planetary hazard to underline the severity so Helldivers can react accordingly. Also has shots that ricochet from heavy armored enemies will now perfectly hit the Helldiver who fired them. Trigger discipline is highly recommended. Oh man. So are they making it so that if your shot ricochets, it just automatically goes toward you? That is messed up. I'm gonna have to test that theory out. Anyway, we have an abundance of fixes that they did here. A lot of crash fixes, a lot of everything. So bear with me. Once again, we're going to go through these kind of quick. Anyway, crash fix that could occur when host abandoned mission with squad. If a player tried to enter an occupied EXO-45 Patriot suit, for all players after or during mission results screen. Also fixed crash after shooting from the EXO-45 Patriot suit rocket launcher. Also fixed it while all players apart from the one that rejoined the ongoing mission with different armor got reinforced. We also have methodology ship module not working properly. Also fixed the blast absorption ship module so that it correctly increases sentries resistance to explosions. Also have could not navigate the search results in the social menu. Also fixed items equipped in a warbond were not actually equipped. Yeah, I actually had that a few times. Allowed overly eager Helldivers to use grenades excessively. Orbital barrage did not progress indirect fire. That's weird. Okay. Also, they also have more fixes here for allowed traders to try to sabotage the extraction shuttle by deploying sentry stratagems below it. That is actually kind of cool. Only thing that sucks is it kind of makes you want to try to be a trader here. Also fixed the issue incorrectly prevented extraction beacon from deploying. Fixed some stratagem beacons using incorrect colors. For that trader one, okay, so it allowed them to sabotage the extraction. They got rid of that. Okay. I thought they were fixing a crash. Like they were meant to have it that way. Okay, anyway. Fixed stratagem beams being incorrectly color-coded. Also, left stick on a controller could not be used to navigate the social menu. Fixed some issues where various UI elements were cut off-centered, or too close to the edge. Also, fixed anti-material rifle facing away from the Helldivers after deploying it. Also fixed a bug where player could duplicate rounds by canceling the reload of anti-material rifle at a specific time. Fixed the bug where anti-material rifle would consume an extra magazine after cancel reloaded. All right, also fixed bug where recoilless rifle would consume an extra shell from the backpack if the reload was canceled after a shell was inserted, but before the reload was completed. Fixed issue where Sickle and QUASAR cannon could not shoot through foliage. Yes, finally they fixed that. Oh, they really needed to fix that. That was driving me nuts. I would end up killing myself if I was like close to the foliage. And then the Sickle, Like you have a perfect shot and it just goes tink, 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 tink right on, you know, a piece of grass. So good thing they got that one. Anyway, also fixed several issues where weapon thumbnails would disappear when scrolling through the armory. Fixed issue where automaton ships sometimes could not see the player. Fixed an issue where incorrect collation being left over after destroying automaton bunkers or detector towers with hell bombs. Fixed an issue where hell bombs would not deploy on certain missions. Also fixed an issue where Helldivers are drowning in deep water upon landing. Also, they fixed an issue where Hell pod space optimization made ammo go above capacity. Nice one to actually fix there. All right, so also we have a fixed issue where stalkers became very visible in fog. Also fixed mines are now pingable for better coordination with your team. Receiving friend requests now gives the player a pop-up. Improved readability for prompts and hints displayed in the tutorial and onboarding. Total experience is now visible in the career tab. Yeah, that they actually fixed, and I've seen that. That is way cool that they finally got that fixed, so we can actually see our things, our stats and everything. But anyway, added better support for ultra-wide monitor by fixing the aspect radius of menus to 16 by 9 and adding a setting to control with the width of the HUD. Keybinds bound to the number pad will no longer reset upon restart. Oh, okay, cool. I don't really use it that way, but anyway. Fixed inconsistent audio when headphones are plugged into the DualSense controller while playing on PC. Playing rock, paper, scissors in front of the ship no longer causes player to fall out into space. That would have been cool to see. I played rock, paper, scissors with a few people and it never happened. That would have been kind of cool to see. But anyway, we have APW-1 anti-material rifle mag and the mag or MG206 heavy machine gun now trigger hitmakers while scoped in. Secondary weapon no longer remains in the ballistic shield ADS position after using a stem with the ballistic shield backpack equipped. We have open text chat now rebindable. We also have explosive weapons such as the R36 Eruptor CB9 explosive crossbow and the GP31 grenade pistol no longer pulls players inward from the blast. Disabled the squad invites during the tutorial, which caused an overlap in the UI. Fixed primary and secondary weapons overlapping on the character model in the armory. We also have fixed UI elements during the first boot are cut off on a 21 by 9 aspect ratio. Interesting. All right. We also have report and block player now visible in the squad menu. And then we have dead scavengers now stop screaming for help if killed while calling in reinforcements. I did see that. Fixed anti-air cannons showing up as stratagem scramblers in danger warnings. Now we have a bunch of known issues here. All these friend request things are all the same as before. It hasn't changed. We see damage over time effects. That is the same as well. We also have the reinforcement issues for players that join in progress. We have Helldiver may be unable to stand up and crouching when surrounded by enemies. Yeah, that's one that I come across. Game may crash when host leaves. Okay, we have that one. Let's see. Players may experience delays in super credits. We definitely had that. Personal orders and eradicate missions. Enemies do not bleed out with that. That is a normal one as well. A lot of these are all ones that we had before. I'm just looking for ones that we don't have. The inconsistent targeting, which I still think that's automaton plot. The stratagem beam might attach itself to an enemy. Yep. That is normal as well. Yeah, pretty much all these are all the ones we had in our past ones. And in the end, it signs off with May Democracy favor you Helldivers. Release Captain Carberg signing off. So it is kind of crazy that we do have a massive nerf on the QUASAR cannon. Hopefully they come back on that, but I doubt it. We might just need to find, something else. Like I said, I might go with the auto cannon now, and maybe with the anti-air. I don't know. We'll have to see. But let me know what you think of these patch notes. If you're okay with the nerf, if you're waiting for something else to happen with it, because we have like some big nerfs. The Sickle and the QUASAR cannon. Those are two that affect me directly. I don't know about y'all, but that's kind of my go-to setup right now. So I definitely want to see that changed. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. I want to thank everybody for watching the video today. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel. Y'all take care and happy gaming.